I rise today to speak out in opposition to the nomination of Kathy Kraninger to serve as the director of the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. The CFPB is a consumer's watchdog on Wall Street and the big banks. It was created in the aftermath of the financial crisis to protect Americans from predatory and abusive practices and ensure that financial institutions play by the rules. Since 2010, the CFPB has investigated and held accountable abusive student loan companies, predatory payday lenders, and fraudulent multinational corporations, just to name a few. It has also protected our nation's veterans and active duty service members from targeted scams and illegal debt collection practices. The CFPB has secured over $12 billion in relief for Americans. And just this past April, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau sued Wells Fargo for creating millions of fake accounts, for destroying credit scores, and forcing millions of customers to pay phony penalties and fees. The people at the CFPB work every single day to make the financial system safe and fair for hard-working families. We can't go back to the way things were before the CFPB was created. We can't go back to a time when there was no strong consumer advocates at the federal level. I remember this time all too well. I was Nevada's Attorney General when the markets crashed in 2008. The subprime mortgage crisis hit Nevada harder than any state in the country. We had the highest foreclosure rate in the nation for 62 months straight. I worked to hold the big banks accountable for the damage they did to our state and to help people stay in their homes. Meanwhile, the federal regulators were asleep at the wheel. They were letting the big banks write their own rules and defraud consumers until the markets came crashing down. The CFPB was designed to close the leadership gap at the federal level, to stand up to predators like Wells Fargo, and protect the rights of American people. To ensure the CFPB continues its mission of looking out for consumers' best interests, we need strong leadership at the agency. We need someone with the right experience, the right qualifications, and the right mindset. We need someone willing to stand up not only to bad actors in the financial industry, but also to President Trump. The administration has already stripped critical enforcement powers away from the CFPB. It's repealed rules that govern predatory payday lenders and shut down an office that focuses on protecting students from abusive student loans. We can't afford to go any further down this path. President Trump's nominee for CFPB, Director Kathy Kraninger, is unqualified to lead the agency. In her testimony before the Senate Banking Committee, on which I sit, she failed to demonstrate an understanding of the CFPB's core functions or even a willingness to uphold its central mission. Like many of President's nominees, Kraninger seems handpicked to undermine the agency's mission. She testified to this, and it appeared at the hearing that her main goal was to be a faithful disciple to Mick Mulvaney, the architect behind this administration's plan to destroy the CFPB from the inside out. And she will continue crippling its power to the power that is essential to protecting American consumers. The next director of the CFPB will be called upon to make a choice, to stand aside and allow powerful special interests to call the shots in our country's financial system, or to fight for families who want a fair and affordable loan to buy a car, a home, or college education for their children, or a bank account and credit card without costly fees, or who are simply trying to make ends meet. Kathy Kraninger can't be relied upon to make the right choice, and she does not have my vote. And so I encourage my colleagues to vote against this nomination. Mr. President, thank you, and I yield the floor.